I've consistently been one of the most profitable bettors on Twitter, and it's up like 1,500 units with a 30% ROI. My screen time is like 13 hours. Like, I grind this thing.
13 hours a day?
Yeah.
What does your wife say about that?
I posted 6-mans. Every single one hit. I did not miss a bet that night. PrizePicks thought this was a great promo, and they lost over $2 million just from my Discord on that one promo.
That's insane. What's up, y'all? I am here on the DubClub CEO Corner podcast, and I am joined by none other than Prop Geek Zeke, a member of the DubClub 500K Club. Zeke, how are we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Happy New Year. Happy 2025.
Yup. Happy 2025. I'm excited.
Pretty remarkable. Let's see, 2025, dating back to what year did you start the Prop Geek Zeke business?
March will be my 3 years. So 2022.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like it's been 3 years already?
No. It feels like it's been like a year. Time flies.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dig into why it feels like it's been such a blur. But I'm sure it's part of the grind of building the business, and you know, the grind of always being on 24/7 just about. So Zeke,
yeah.
Let's rewind the clock, right? So you're a member of the 500K Club, which means that you've made over 500K on DubClub. It's obviously it was once a very select group. That group has been growing over time as more and more people build their businesses and scale on DubClub. But it's still a very prestigious group to be in. It had to start somewhere, right? Like, your business had to start somewhere. You didn't just go 0 to 500K overnight. Can you walk me backwards to what life was like, call it, during COVID, with the Prop Geek Zeke brand? What were you doing? The brand didn't exist yet. Talk me through 2020 and 2021.
So 2020 was actually my senior year of high school. So,
that is
just
incredible.
Finished. I know. Just finished football season. Was starting second semester, so last semester of my senior year. And it was actually like around the time of my birthday, because my birthday's in March too. Was when like school got canceled.
March what?
26th.
Nice. All right. Our listeners, send Zeke a nice gift on the 26th.
Yeah. I just asked my now wife to prom like 2 weeks before. Didn't get to go to prom because there was no prom. And I was a pretty good kid in school. So second semester, I was doing a lot of online stuff for college already, like dual enrollment. So okay. I didn't miss out that much, but it was definitely weird. And then like no prom. I didn't walk across the stage until the end of August. Like, I had already started college and was taking classes by the time, and like only half the kids in my class walked because the other half were like gone for college.
Unbelievable. So 2020, you were a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID hit, so you didn't even get to walk the typical graduation that most people have. You didn't have. But nope. You were able to ask your now wife to prom. So that's the important thing. But that's unbelievable, dude. I mean, that's probably so relatable for a lot of like your generation. I mean, I say your generation. I'm 30 now. A lot of your generation that was in high school during COVID and getting into high school or even in middle school or junior high, where they didn't get a chance to experience all of the like normal stuff, like graduating in front of a big crowd. How do you think that's impacted you over the last couple of years? Like, do you think that had an effect? The fact that you didn't experience some of these things in the way that you view the world, and the way that you view work, and the way that you view your career and future?
I mean, I guess as a kid and like growing up, I was always really self-motivated. Whereas I would set my own goals, and when I'd hit them, I didn't need like to walk across the stage to feel accomplished. And I guess that's just
good
stuck with me
intrinsic motivation.
To where like when I hit a goal, I'm satisfied.
That's a gift of most entrepreneurs, by the way, Zeke. I mean, I was listening to a podcast today It's like most entrepreneurs don't need the extrinsic. They just have something inside that motivates them. So that resonates.
Yeah. I really just walked for like my parents. I was already checked out and had other goals in my mind, really.
When you were in high school, what goals did you have? You said you were a pretty good kid in school, but what did that mean for you when you got to college?
So I've always I know I like sports bet now, but I still I look at it as like I help a lot of people with sports betting. I love helping people. So first year of college, I was doing pre-med, and then I switched to nursing because I was like, man, I hate school. I want to get out quick and start helping people. So I graduated with a nursing degree. Obviously, I'm not using it right now, but that
is unreal. Wait, so let me just pause. You went to school to get a nursing degree. Like you wanted to be in the medical field, and now you're running a sports consulting business that helps people make better decisions when betting on sports. I just want to tie those two things together. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, sports betting is an addiction for like a ton of people. So you could look at it as I'm really helping people. I mean, I guess I'm keeping them addicted, but it's also, is it really an addiction if you're winning? I mean, that's like a funny thing people say, but that's really how I look at it. Like 29 of my last 31 months have been profitable. So it's not a harmful addiction. It's like being addicted to drinking water or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what do you think about this statement that, you know, and I'll kind of describe how DubClub fits into all this, but the work of the sports book is to try to get people to continue to place bets, but you're trying to help them not go down the rabbit hole that sports books try to take people down. Because it's
absolutely.
Just misaligned incentives, right? And that's why I love DubClub and I love working with you and I love all of the CEOs on DubClub who are helping people make better decisions because we're sort of like in this circle. You can think of DubClub as like in this circle and like you're in that circle on one side as the business, the consumer's on the other side, and you're giving them information and they're paying you. It's like a nice little circle. And on the outside are the sports books, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to get people to like get out of that circle and make decisions that aren't informed by what you're helping them. Like you're telling them, hey, this is a research-backed decision. This is what I think the plays are tonight versus someone trying to do that based on hunch. So with that in mind, do you agree with that statement that it's not really you that's encouraging people to bet more? You're actually helping them. They're already going to bet on sports. 50 million people do it every week in the U.S. You're just helping them make better decisions.
Yeah, I mean, making informed decisions is like my number one goal. Last year, my New Year's resolution was to make educational content more entertaining because I was really good at doing educational content. I could explain why a 22-leg parlay is bad, why this bet's good, why this bet's bad, the best slip, what's positive expected value. But trying to get the casual bettor into that was my goal last year. And obviously, I mean, last year on Twitter, I gained 50,000 followers. So it worked really well.
What were you at to start 2024 in terms of following?
I think I was below 30K or at 30K to start 2024, and I'm at 85.4 right now.
Wow. So 30,000 followers to 85,000 followers, give or take, in the course of 12 months because you did what?
Make educational content entertaining. Obviously, I mean, I'm very profitable, and people, once they start tailing you and win, they're with you. But trying to get them to your side of tailing is what my goal was.
Can you give me an example? Say I'm someone that knows nothing about your business or your product, what you offer. Can you give me an example of what this educational content is?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, so I sit and chat a lot where I'm answering questions. Someone will send like I do a lot of prize picks. So someone send like a three-leg parlay on prize picks, which is the worst value because it's 3 legs for 5x. If you take the math on that, it's like minus 150 fair value. If you go and put a 3-leg parlay on FanDuel for like minus 110 odds, you're getting like a 7x. So I really try to educate them on, hey, a three leg for 5x is not good. You're better off to go for like a 5-man for 10x with the flex because that's negative 118 odds. And it's much better long term. or I think the thing I'm most known for is correlation. Taking advantage of correlation is like the Prop Geek Zeke brand. So when you see people posting these like 10-leg parlays on Twitter where they're not good, what I would do is I'd post a 5-leg parlay where it's insanely profitable, where I take, I mean, you know about correlation, but for people that don't know.
No, I mean, pretend like I know nothing, Zeke.
Yeah.
This whole podcast is for listeners out there that want to get inside your brain a little bit, because there's a lot of like powerful activity going on in your brain.
Yeah. So at the start of 2024, a lot of what I was doing was correlation. Correlation is just when two props are likely to end in the same way. So if you're going to take a Patrick Mahomes pass yards line over, it's very likely Travis Kelce goes over as well. Because if Mahomes throws for 300, it likely goes through Kelce. It's like that for every team. But you could go even further than that on Prize Picks, to where I would take Mahomes and Kelce over, and then I would take their punter under punts. Because if Mahomes throwing for 300 yards, they're not punting the ball. Like, they're moving the ball every time. I would take their kicker over PATs because they're likely scoring. Then I would take the opposing team's linebacker over tackles, because if Mahomes throwing for 300 yards, they have the ball for a ton of the game. The linebackers got to make tackles. Where there's a 5-leg parlay that you can get for 20x on Underdog, if you go submit that same slip on DraftKings, you're getting 8x. But I'm getting 20x on Underdog. And there's where people can get that 5-leg that they really like, to where they can sweat out a long shot. But it's also the most profitable slip in the world. Like, the expected value on that is absolutely insane. Over 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Back in time, you were a freaking nurse, dude, or you were studying to be a nurse. Like, how did you learn this stuff?
I mean, math has always been like my thing. I took AP classes in high school. Almost had a perfect score on the ACT in math. Like, I'm really good at math. I'm really interested in math. And I'm also really interested in sports. So when I started betting,
wow, that's a pretty powerful combo. So you take someone that really likes math, or just like enjoys math, one of the key subjects you learn in school, and you take someone that likes sports, which is 1 in 2 people in the world, and boom, you've got an opportunity here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I started out, I was sitting in nursing, like the pre-med, or I mean the like the general nursing classes, and I'd sit in the back of the room with AirPods in, reading a 10-year-old Chinese formula on correlation, it was Chinese translated to English. It was like a 10-page paper to learn about like correlation, efficiency, and stuff like that.
Was it written in Mandarin or English?
I don't know. It was translated to English. I just know it was from China. And there's stuff like that I read. And then obviously connections are super strong in this industry. So if I'm sitting there working on correlation and someone comes to me like, hey, I found a golf edge or something like that, where we can share it and we both make money, that's obviously huge.
That's unbelievable. So again, fast forwarding to now, I keep going back and forth because it's helpful to get the juxtaposition. You were back when you were in school, not that long ago, you were sitting in the back of the class, nursing school class, studying Chinese formulaic whatever, because you're just obsessed with the intellectual stimulation of numbers, and obviously sports is exciting. But now fast forward, like, you've made over $500,000 giving people advice, basically, as a consulting business on DubClub. Where have you found success as a CEO on DubClub?
Like, how has DubClub helped me, or just
where have you found success? Like, what's been successful for you? What's been the magic bullet for your business that has helped drive it forward from a marketing or sales or whatever it might be standpoint? Because there's a lot of people out there that like math and like sports, but not a lot of them have been able to combine that into a business that makes 6 figures from giving people advice on what to bet on.
Yeah, I mean, number one is winning sports bets. If you have someone tell you and you're hitting your bets, they're going to go, and we all sweat bets with friends, right? Like, you go over to your buddy's house on Saturday to watch the Georgia game. You're like, oh, I got this slip from Zeke. They tell their 5 friends. Then those friends go and share that. That's huge. So hitting slips is obviously really easy. And I think I'm a really good combination of being a nerd, but also like being very talkative and like just out there as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps a lot because a lot of people are like either good sports bettors or good marketers, and I'm a good combo, and that's really helped me a lot. But number one is just I've consistently been one of the most profitable bettors on Twitter over the last 3 years. I recap everything. I have 4,000 bets tracked by a third party that anyone can look at any time in my Discord. It's not hidden behind a paywall. It doesn't update once a month, and I just throw numbers on the sheet. You can see every single bet that's been tracked over the last 3 years, and it's up like 1,500 units with a 30% ROI.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. So to recap that, your ingredients for building a successful business, I want to recap what you said because, where we sit, it's like the ingredients you mentioned are possible for a lot of people, right? And the more people that are giving advice, the better off everybody is. So we're in the business of helping more people win more together. And what you said was someone that is, betting with friends and is consistently winning or helping them, right? Like you, me, Dash, Lou, we go out, like you're giving us advice. Eventually we're going to recognize, wait, Zeke's actually really good. And you're going to recognize, wait, people could probably pay for my advice. And then 2, being personable, right? That's like the marketing aspect of what you're getting at in terms of just people like you. They like your brand. They like the value you're providing and the help that you're providing. And you're doing that in a parasocial way on social media, mainly Twitter right now. And then the last combo you mentioned is like good marketer and good bettor, right? Someone that has a good product but can also talk about that product and distribute it. Do you feel like, did I sum that up properly? And do you feel like there's maybe like an interesting question is, do you feel like there's a lot of people like you out there that could be building businesses but maybe just don't recognize yet that they just need to take the leap, and something like DubClub, which I would say really only DubClub, can help them do it with virtually no effort?
Yeah. There's this quote that I see that I really think is just like a good summary of how I got into my position is like the person that you want to be also doesn't know what they're doing. Like I don't have it all figured out. If I look back at what I was doing a year ago, holy cow, I was an idiot. I look back 2 years ago, even dumber. But I think I'm doing it right. And I know next year I'm going to look at what I'm doing right now and be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know that. But it's just taking action and learning and making mistakes is how you grow, really.
100%. There's a fun meme. Well, it's not even a meme. I think it's just sort of like a illustration. But it shows how much you learn. And there's a stack of books, and then there's something next to it that says mistakes. And the point is like you learn more from mistakes than from like as you can consume everything in the world, which is great. Like be a sponge, but you learn from actually doing and iterating and trying. Yeah. And it sounds like that's what you've done. And you recognized in 2024, I'm going to provide educational content, really showcase my brand and my personality. And that ended in you having a banner year.
Yep.
So, you mentioned you didn't really know what you were doing, 2 years ago, 3 years ago even, right? You started this business 3 years ago. What were you doing before you started building your business on DubClub?
Like, what was I doing for work, or are you saying, like, what was I doing when I started DubClub that I was struggling with?
Take me from what were you doing before you even started a business, giving people advice, and then take me to what you were doing to like run the business, and now take me to what it looks like on DubClub. Those are sort of 3 different sequences in the history of your biz.
Okay. So before I started DubClub, I was freshman year of college, or before I started my business, I was freshman year of college. Me and my buddies all worked at like a fast food restaurant, and we'd sit there, Bojangles.
Bojangles, yeah.
And we'd just sit there and make bets all day while we were there. I got added into a group chat for people on my campus, and there was like 70 or 80 kids in the group chat. It was called Sports Bets. I only knew 2 people in there, and they were like, "Hey, this is my friend Zeke. He's really good at sports betting. He's gonna send us plays in there." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was sending my picks in there. People were tailing me. And then people were sending other people's plays. Like, hey, I pay for this guy's picks on Twitter. And I was like, you pay for his picks? What do you mean? Like, I've never heard of that. And he'd send the picks and they were terrible. Like, they were so bad. And I was like, bro, I can offer way more value than this. Like, I saw a solution to a problem, basically. Like, okay,
Yep.
people are paying for picks and they suck. I'm going to start charging for picks and they'll actually be good.
Beautiful.
So, literally that night I got added into the group chat and I saw that. I went home at like midnight after I got off work and made the Twitter, made the Discord, went premium day one, was never free. Started just trying stuff. You know, I'd go on Twitter, see what people were doing, try that. And really took off. When I was first betting on Prize Picks, there was maybe, I can think of 5 people that had a premium back then that still do now. Maybe not even 5, honestly, like 3. I was super OG. And a lot of people weren't taking advantage of like odds when they were betting, which everyone is now. But back then, DraftKings would put Prize Picks would put KD at like 24.5 points, and I'd open FanDuel and he's at 29.5. And that thing would just sit there all day. So I would be playing these insanely profitable props, I was hitting like 70% for an entire NBA season. And people were freaking out, like, why is this guy so good? Couldn't really understand it. And I wouldn't tell anyone what I was doing. I was like, oh, I have a model, because I didn't want to tell people I was looking at odds. And because then it'd get leaked and everyone would start doing it. And I was trying to like run that edge out as long as possible. Obviously, eventually I was like, okay, I was looking at odds because it became very popular. But that's really how it started. And I was like, okay, this actually might be something that I can do as a side hustle during college. And obviously now it's turned into a massive business.
That's incredible. You started this when you were a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Like, you became a CEO when you were a freshman in college.
I mean, looking back now, I'm just grateful that I just decided to do it, because I would never call myself a CEO back then. It was like,
Yep.
I'm running a Discord. It's for fun. I'm sending pics. Like, you know, I'm getting paid. Like, I mean, I'm making like $500 a month, but like, really, I just love sports so much. I love helping people. I never looked at it as a job until like last year when I graduated college. I was like, okay, I have to treat this as a job or else I need to go get a nursing job or something. And that's when it really started like taking off, and I'd stream a lot and really start grinding.
Have you sensed a correlation between the seriousness with which you approach the business, in the sense of like, I am the CEO and I'm providing a product to customers, and the reaction you've gotten from your community in terms of the growth you've seen, the retention, the engagement? Do you think people are more engaged and more believing in you the more serious you are about your business?
Yeah. I mean, since day one, it was always, I'm trying to deliver the best product possible. I'm like a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. Like, I'm not going to can I cuss on this? I'm not going to half-ass it.
Yeah, of course. Say whatever you want.
I'm not going to half-ass it. Like, I'm going to give it my all. But the Twitter stuff is when I really started like, okay, instead of me just tweeting whatever I feel like, I'm going to start tweeting stuff that has like a purpose. That's where like my community grew. My engagement in the chat has always been nuts. Like, I have a super active chat, really good retention rate. But the growth wise really took off when I started like doing case studies on tweets. Like, okay, why did this tweet do really good? What tweet gained me the most followers in the last month? Stuff like that.
I love it. You were just a sponge trying to figure out what was working, what wasn't. And really, like, when I say taking it seriously, that's what CEOs do. They ask a lot of questions. They go deep. They really understand what the heck's going on with their business, because the buck starts and stops with you, right?
Yeah.
In the best of ways. I mean, who would you rather be reliant on than yourself?
No one. I'm the only person that has posted plays during this whole time. I've had a couple people come in and come out that post for me from time to time. But I always tell people, like, no one's going to treat your business like you will. Like, this is my baby.
It's your baby.
My screen time is like 13 hours. Like, I grind this thing.
13 hours a day?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you right now, I've been
What does your
tired,
wife say
honestly.
about that? Newly married, is she like, hey, we 2025, we're gonna need to take that screen time down a bit, or is she
That's
cool
one
with
of
it?
my goals for 2025 is become more efficient with my time, because I could do what I do now on less screen time, but I'm just very inefficient with it. So that's my goal, is to become more efficient. I've
Well, hey
created a
Zeke,
bunch
look,
of systems in my chat.
we're on the same page, man. That's why, when I keep bringing up to you when we've got stuff in the works and product, I like to showcase it to you because our goal in 2025 as a company on the product side is help you guys make more money with even less effort. Like, it's a very simple goal, and that's what we're embarking on. So it sounds like we're very much on the same page. How
Yeah.
can we continue to give you the tools so you can treat your business and jump into your DubClub account as like your operating system, and it's just like less energy you have to expend on all the things that are really valuable to your company? That's
Hmm.
where we're focused. That's why, we're your partner. We're here for you. Uh, Talk to me before DubClub. You mentioned there's so much that you wish you knew. You were a freshman when you started this. You're fresh out of working at Bojangles. When you started charging, you went premium day one. What software were you using and why? And tell me what broke down with that process.
Um, so I did no real research on starting a premium. First thing I did was, hey, cash at me and I'll give you access. And I started
Wow.
a Google Sheet where I'd type in their name, the day they cash app me, the day they owe me another cash app. Well, after like a month, I had like 100 people, and I was like, okay, I can't be messaging 100 people a day and answering DMs. Like, I'd wake up every morning, have 18 DMs like, hey, I'm interested in the premium. How much is it? Where do I send the money? So I'd spend
Talk
like the
about
first hour of my
screen
day
time.
going
Holy
back and forth
cow.
with people. Yeah, it was very inefficient.
Jeez.
Then someone in my chat was like, hey, why don't you use Me6? Another Discord I'm in uses that. And I was like, okay. Looked into it.
Yep.
Um,
It's like
super
a little
easy to
bot to
integrate and
manage
set up.
access and removal.
Yeah, super easy to integrate and set up, but no support at all. And one day, all I was trying to do was just change the name of the Discord role. Like, it used to be, I when I first started, I was Prize Pick Zeke, but obviously I had to get away from the Prize Picks name because I want to be have a promo code with Underdog or whatever. Like, I don't want to be
Yep.
attached to one company. And they
Yep.
like kind of screwed me over, so I was like, I gotta get out of here. But so was trying to change the name of the role, and it deleted everyone in my Discord, removed all their roles. It took me a week and a half to get in contact with them, try to get back. I ended up paying like 3 people in my Discord to help me add roles to people. So then I was like, honestly, if you even think that they should get the role, just give it to them. Like, I'm so tired of getting DMs. So there was people that
Yeah.
might have been like freeloading for a while. Um, and that's when I finally answered your DM, because you had DM me a couple times, and I was like, man, Me6 is working fine. Like, I really don't feel like switching. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm good. But then when that happened, like the day that happened, I was like, okay, let me reach out to DubClub because I got to figure this out. So I reached out to you. We had a call, and like I think a week later we
Yep.
launched.
Yep. I remember our call. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I think I'm taking this guy's business more seriously than him. I think he has a lot of potential.
I definitely would. You definitely were.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, that's what we're about. Like, we want you guys to recognize. We want our partners. The CEOs of these businesses. You guys are our partners. We want you to recognize the potential that you have. And as
Yeah.
you get into 2025, you've seen, looking back on the last 3 years, right? Over 500,000 generated on DubClub. 300,000, 350,000 of that has come from you and your sales acquisition. The other, like 150 to 200,000, if you look at the numbers, has come from our network. And that's kind of the power of this joint partnership here, which is really exciting for me, and why I'm like, hey, I really want to take this seriously with you, because I think there's more to it. And I think there's always
Yeah.
more that you guys can be striving for and achieving, and I'm glad that you recognize that. But taking it back to the Me6 stuff, that it's not, yeah, nice little software, but it sounds like just brutal, right? Like, one click, try to change a role, and it wipes out pretty much your
Yeah.
entire customer base. That's insane.
Yeah. I was freaking out.
I would have been like, I would have thrown my hands up in the air and been like, I think I'm done. This is, I can't build this, from scratch again. But you persevered, which I respect, because look at where we're at now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you took the call with me, which, I'm thankful that you did.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm pretty sure I like canceled a date that night because I was like, I got to figure this out. I don't know what's wrong. Took me a week to get in contact with someone at Me6, and they were like, oh, we don't really know what happened. We'll reach out to our developer, and I never heard back, which I never followed up either because I was already on DubClub at that point.
So when I think, like, I always like to ask the question, how did you hear about DubClub? It sounds like you had been reached out by someone on our team. In that case, it was me. I don't really do that often anymore just because I'm focused on other stuff. And we have a whole host of awesome new partnership reps, most of which you've met. But you heard of us from the DMs we were sending, and then you decided one day, like, let me answer it because maybe there's something on the other end of this that could be valuable. So because you answered that DM and you took the call, fast forward 2.5 years or whatever, we're looking at $500,000 plus.
Yeah.
Special.
No, it is. It's crazy to think about.
It's pretty cool. So Zeke, you've talked a lot about correlation. I want to get into, like, as we move past the story of the business getting started, you jumped on Me6, went premium on day one, got into a bit of an issue with the access and removal capability of Me6. You then, found DubClub. You answered a DM, thankfully. And now $500,000 later, like, you're looking for new, exciting ways to scale your business with less effort, which we're obviously on board with, empowering you to do that. But the core of what you offer as a business is your product, which is the research behind the plays and the plays themselves. Can you talk a little bit about, like, just your product offering so that people have a sense of, if they subscribe to you, what can they expect?
Yeah. So if you're going to subscribe to any sports betting, obviously, any sports betting Discord, I think mine is the best, and that's not a brag. That's just me being very confident in my product. One, you're obviously going to get my plays. I've tracked over 4,000 bets over the last nearly 3 years now. Every single bet has been tracked by a third party. You can look at that sheet anytime. It's not hidden behind a paywall. 29 of the last 31 months, or it's more than that now, but have been profitable. I think total we're up close to 2,000 units, 30% ROI. I post multiple picks every day. NFL, NBA, PGA, MLB, basically any major sport, college or NFL. Or professional. And then the other big thing that a lot of people don't know is that I almost have a mini optimizer on my Discord. So a lot of people are familiar with the optimizers to where you can get notifications for plays. You can refresh your website. But what I've done is create Discord bots that 24/7 scan the market and find profitable plays, which are basically just outliers on the market. Where if, hey, the Broncos are an underdog on every single book, but they're a favorite here, you could go hammer that favorite because you know that's the wrong line. I said that backwards, but if the Broncos are a favorite on every single book, and then you can find that they're an underdog on, like, Fliff, you're like, okay, well, they're favored on every app but Fliff. Let me go play that on Fliff. My bot does that for you 24/7. You get a notification straight to your phone. You can get a roll, and you'll just see, okay, Broncos moneyline, Fliff minus 110 or plus 110, whatever it may be. That's huge.
And did you build that, or where did that mini optimizer come from?
So I don't know how to program. I just know about the sports betting side and, like, the math. Mm-hmm. So it was me working with a developer saying, hey, this is what EV is. This is what I want. Let's devig it to these books, whatever it may be, right? A lot of nerdy stuff. And he would program it with me, and we back tested it and tested it and done a whole bunch of stuff. And I've had those for almost a year now.
Wow. That's pretty sweet. So in addition to the community, people are getting alerted when there are these, I don't know if arbitrage is the right word, but there are these opportunities where you can find, like, a slippage across books in terms of what they're offering.
Yeah, positive EV is more like the correct term. Where you can just get that at any time. So a lot of times I like to say is like, hey, you might be on the West Coast. I go to bed at, let's say, midnight East Coast, where it's 9 p.m. there. There might be something super profitable pop up while I'm asleep. Well, if I didn't have those bots, you wouldn't get the play. But you'd get that in another Discord. And I want you to be able to get every single thing you need in my server. That's it. So I built those to where, hey, you're up at 1 a.m. West Coast time, and you're looking for a bet, and you get my notification. Like, you're just sitting there watching YouTube, get a notification from my bot. Oh, let me click that, put the bet in, let's go back to my YouTube video. 10 seconds. Or you work night shift, right? You know, people work night shifts, or they work like a 4 a.m. shift where they're up early. I'm not awake. You can still get sports bets in. You're on your lunch break at like 3 a.m. on a night shift. Well, you're getting a notification about a bet that you can put in. So when you're sleeping during the day and I'm posting bets, you're not like, wow, this server's pointless to me because I work night shift and like I missed some of the bets. No, you're getting a ton of volume still and super profitable bets.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's very sweet. Okay. And then, all right, if I'm just someone who's interested in general advice you have to offer, what tips for consumers do you have?
Sports betting it's really not that hard. There are things that you can do that can guarantee you profit. What you need to do is find a community that can lead you in that direction. There's a ton of communities out there. Obviously, I think mine is the best. And there's free people. But to where you're not following a Twitter capper who is posting like a 22-leg parlay every single day. There's no professional bettors doing that. And you want to be profitable when you sports bet. I know sports betting is extremely fun, but the funnest thing about sports betting is when you win a bet. Not when you get to bet on your hometown team and they lose. I mean, I just lost on Georgia this week. I can tell you that sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But if you can, the number one, like, what's fun is winning sports bets. Submitting a 22-leg parlay that loses every week isn't fun. Like, you might sweat 2 legs of it and then it's chalked. No, like, you can. There's so many communities out there where you can like accelerate your learning. In my Discord, I can teach you what I learned over the last 3 years in 1 week. And you can soak up so much knowledge and become a profitable sports bettor. There's people paying off cars, mortgages, rent, taking their kids on vacation, buying their wife a ring, or fiance, I guess at the time, a ring. From what I've taught them in 6 weeks, that took me 3 years and a lot of mistakes to learn. Like, I burnt a lot of money making bad bets that you don't have to do.
Basically, if somebody wants to piggyback off of the mistakes you've already made and the things you've learned, they should just pay you. That's the whole value of your service. Mm-hmm. That plus the, positive EV bot that you've put in and a couple of the other parts of your community aspect that are really enjoyable to be in. But that makes sense. I mean, that's why people pay for, most people, 30% of Americans pay for a financial advisor, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are people that know better than I do of how to invest my money, so why wouldn't I be paying somebody to tell me what to bet on? Yeah. Similar concept. If I'm spending the money, why not pay somebody to help me make better decisions? Otherwise, what's your subscription price right now per month?
$50.
50, yeah. So I put down 50. I could make, let's say, 20 bets over the course of a month. The likelihood that I actually profit off of those bets by myself as a regular consumer is extremely low. 98% of people roughly who bet on sports don't win. So I can spend $50 and almost guarantee that I'm going to turn out profitable. That pays itself off, quite literally, which is the cool thing about your subscription.
Yeah. I always tell people I don't gamble, I invest. If you look at the numbers of the last 3 years, last year I profited 750 units with like a 30% ROI. First of all, that's going to beat any financial advisor on the market. No one's going to get you that.
Talk to me in terms of dollars. Like, what does that mean if I put $100? I start out with a $100 bankroll. I've set aside $100 from the money that I get from income. And I'm like, I'm going to spend $100 on betting. What did that turn into with you over different time periods?
So let's say we'll use a $10 bettor as an example, right? That's a casual bettor. They're throwing $10 on my bets. Last year, they would have profited $7,500 in 12 months betting on sports, watching them on their couch. Now, that doesn't take into account, after 3 months of being in my Discord, you're going to raise your unit because you're profitable. You're going to be like, okay, I'm throwing $20 down now. you were going to work your way up. So last year for an $100 bettor, we profited over $75,000. The average American makes 62 grand. So my Discord was more profitable, and that is fully tracked. Every single bet by a third party. You can go look at every single bet because I know these numbers are insane, and I know there's a ton of people that lie in this industry. That's why I have a free recap that anyone can see in the world.
That is unreal. So a $10 bettor, someone that's putting down $10 per play, would have made $7,500 in profit, and someone that's putting down a little bit more per play, you know, risking $100, it would have made 75 grand in profit.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And that's not even counting the bots. That's just my plays.
How do you continue to perform at that level? That's an elite level, Zeke. How do you continue to perform at that level in 2025?
Yeah, that was my best year by far. Obviously, if I do that next year, I'd be ecstatic. We're off to a pretty good start in January. But I would just say it's just because I'm a grinder and I'm constantly trying to learn. Like, there's stuff that I'm betting on now that I didn't know about 3 months ago that's super profitable for my subs. Well, in sport, like we did the correlation on NFL and on PrizePicks, we got that completely nerfed on PrizePicks. That slip that I explained earlier in the stream is like an 8x now, which is the correct price. But then I can go on another app now that I just started doing where I'm submitting slips and I'm getting like 50% EV that I didn't even know existed 4 months ago. It's a new app called Rebet where you could take advantage of their pricing system for NFL or something betting on like NBA overnights where I can get like literally last night I bet on Mark Williams over 20 PRA. I woke up this morning, it's at 23.5. So I just got 3 points of value before people even ate lunch. And it could get even better throughout the day. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
So, Zeke, talk me through some of your biggest wins in the last, 3, 4, 5 years and some of your worst beats.
Okay, I think the biggest win that I'm most known for, it wasn't a $50,000 cash. It wasn't anything like that. It was PrizePicks gave out a free entry to win $5K to anyone that completed a challenge. Everyone in my Discord completed the challenge. And I posted a bet for it on MLB. This was like year 1 of Prop Geek Zeke. Don't even know if I was on DubClub at the time. And it got down to the last 2 legs. The first 3 hit. We had 2 legs left. One of them was Johnny Cueto over 15.5 pitching outs. If you don't know who that is, he is a turkey tosser, but he's really efficient. But he throws meatballs. The reason why he's so efficient is because everyone's swinging at like the first 3 pitches he throws and making contact. Well, first inning, second inning, he gave up like 5 home runs in 2 innings. So everyone in my Discord, including myself, was like, wow, dude, we missed 1 leg for $5K. And there's over 500 people tailing that. So we're talking about millions of dollars on PrizePicks' hands. That they're sweating Johnny Cueto with us. Obviously, they want the under. And then over the next 4 innings, he ended up getting every single out on like 3 pitches or less. He ended up going 7 innings that night. And we only needed him to go 5. So everyone cashed for $5,000. It was one of my most viral tweets at the time. Because everyone on PrizePicks got that promo. And everyone was trying to find someone to bet it on. And I cashed out all my Discord subs. And people were sending me like, oh, I just went on vacation with this. Bought my fiance a ring. Paid off my car, whatever it was. Because like $5,000 is a ton of money just to randomly make on baseball on like a Tuesday night.
Yeah, for it to show up out of nowhere like that, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you had the whole squad tailing this massive... And it was a little bit of a roller coaster, too. It sounds like it wasn't straight down the fairway.
No,
there was a little bit of a moment there where everyone was doubting. Yeah. And those are the fun ones where you're sitting there like, hey, let's calm down, right? Like there's a little bit of turbulence on the plane, but you're flying it. You're like, I see clear skies ahead, so let's just relax.
Yeah. I mean, I've had bigger wins. I can think of another one, but that one was so special because it was a free entry and we cashed out. Like, I mean, so many people played it. Like, PrizePicks thought this was a great promo, and they lost over $2 million just from my Discord on that one promo. I can think of
That's
another
insane.
promo they did where each 6 leg was boosted to 35x instead of 25x. I posted 6 6-mans. Every single one hit. I did not miss a bet that night. And that one wasn't even sweaty either. Like every play, it was MLB again. Every play cast with ease. And if you do, 6 times 35 since each one was 35x, that was 200 units in one night. Because I put a unit on each. And
That's incredible.
yeah, that was easily the best night in my Discord's history. Was catching 6 35x's in one night, did not miss a single bet.
And it sounds like there were a lot of case studies that came out of this from your subscriber base. What do you think is like the best thing that someone has done and told you about after winning money with you?
I think the best one, this guy's still in my chat to this day. He's one of my first 100 subs. He's also a nurse, believe it or not, but he has not used a dime of his nursing salary over the last 2 years on mortgage or car payments. He has paid off his mortgage and car payments over the last 2 years strictly on sports betting. His nursing salary is investing, vacations, and like just a bunch of like spending money really. He's like, I want to make at least $4,000 a month sports betting because that's my mortgage and car payment. And he's done it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's
so
awesome.
This guy's a nurse, doesn't spend any of his nursing money. That's basically just going to his 401k or whatever, future retirement for him to spend when he's, going and wants to travel the world. And instead, he's subscribed to you, and he's using the profit from what is essentially a side gig for him to pay off all of this regular, everyday, all these things he has to pay off: mortgage, car payments,
water bill, whatever it may be.
Yeah, exactly. Like PG&E bills, whatever. That's incredible. Yeah. So he's funding his lifestyle with a side gig powered by you and DubClub.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's
That's
another
incredible.
kid that I can think about who is in college right now. He's about to graduate. He had joined my Discord because obviously he liked gambling. But everyone he had paid for, he'd lost money with. He's like, oh, you're like my 4th Discord. He was DMing me a bunch of questions. Can I see a recap? Can you explain this to me? And today he's up over $300,000. Has decided to still graduate, but not use his degree. He's going to move to Arizona when he graduates. He's already find his house he wants to live in and sports bet full time because of the information and bets he's learned in my Discord.
So that gets me to another question I wanted to ask. You've helped a lot of people, and these case studies are incredible. You got the nurse that's paying off the regular, everyday duties that he has to fund with the money from what he's made betting on sports from the advice you've given him. And then you've got this college student who is moving to Arizona and not going to have a 9-to-5 job. He's going to be pursuing his passion for sports and sports betting using the information you give him. Are there people that have gone on to build their own businesses using the things they've learned from you, i.e. someone that was in your DubClub and then went and created their own DubClub, almost like you're their, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but like you're their Yoda and it's the Anakin before he turns to the dark side, or Luke Skywalker or whatever. Like you're sort of creating your Padawans and having them grow up to be Jedi on DubClub.
Yeah. I think it's good that there's more profitable, because like all these guys are really profitable, so I want as many profitable communities. But I think over the last 2 years, just off what I've taught people and like what they've learned in my Discord, there's been at least 10 plus dub clubs and Discords started from my prior mods or very like veteran subs, to where they're like, okay, I know what I'm doing enough to where I can tap into this too, and I'll help them out. Usually they'll start my Discord and then break off. But yeah, there's a ton just because I've taught them so much. And like I have education channels in my Discord to where you can read up on the best slip types. I have like articles linked that I like, videos created to where if you're wondering why I bet like the slip I was explaining, the new NFL slip, I have an 8-minute video where I explain it in detail. And you can apply that to any sport. It's not just NFL specific.
I love it. Hey, look, it's good for us, good for you, good for the community. Everyone wins more together. That's why I like that concept. You're educating people. They're paying you, so you're making money. You're giving them information. And then some of them, a very small subset, right, just based on the probability of people that want to be their own CEO and build their own business, a small subset will then turn around and say, hey, I'd like to start my own business on DubClub. And we make it super easy for them out of the box. What advice do you have for someone that is thinking of starting their own business in terms of how DubClub has helped you? Talk them through what they can expect from DubClub, why you've stuck with DubClub and been building your business on DubClub now for 3 years. What is it about DubClub that you think is so valuable for someone that wants to be serious and build their sports consulting, sports content creation business long term?
The first thing that stood out to me on why I chose DubClub was just the relationships and like the ability to get one-on-one, where like I'd have a meeting with my account supervisor, account manager every other week, and we talk about, hey,
supervisor
Zeke, this
is
is what
a
you need to
hilarious
do.
term.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like that's my guy. Like you know what I'm talking about.
Success coach. She's calling him a
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about though. Like I just like.
Oh, I know Dash. Yeah,
those calls.
Speaking of which, here's a fun fact, really quickly to interrupt. We're starting a Founding 3 podcast where me, Lewis, and Dash will be doing a podcast for an hour every week. You should tune in when they go live. But we're gonna go behind the scenes, so you'll learn everything you want to learn about DubClub and what we're doing, how the company got started. But yeah, Dash is one of your partner success coaches.
So Dash was like
I get the relationship.
I would credit Dash with so much of my success and why I'm still here. When me and Dash get on a call, we spend the first 20 minutes talking about the new putter that just dropped and what I shot on the golf course, and then we go into talking about this stuff. But that means a lot to me. And now, like back then,
he really cares. By the way, like,
oh yeah,
I mean, that's not Dash being schmoozy dad. That is like everyone at this company cares obsessively about helping you guys achieve unequaled outcomes. It's our number one value, customer obsession. We stop at nothing to help our customers, who are the CEOs of their business, you guys. We stop at nothing to drive unequaled outcomes for you. And that's why Dash is literally obsessed with that. He also gets paid more. We've set it up so everyone gets paid when they drive outcomes for you guys. Literally win more together. You won't find that at very many places.
Yeah. So the relationships and like being able to have one-on-one where like they're looking only at my business. I'm not getting like a general email. Hey, this is what's been working good for everybody this week. You should try this. It's like Dash is saying, Zeke, this is what you need to do. You need to sell this promo code, whatever. That has been a lot. And then now, back then, I wouldn't even say that it was the experience that drew me in with DubClub. But now, with how much success DubClub's had, I think every up-and-coming person that wants to do this should look at that and be like, they know the model that works. They have plenty of people that are super successful, including myself, that like you've worked with, where we've had these calls, or I've talked with Dash, where like you've heard a bunch of stuff. Like no one else has the sample size and ability to study companies like DubClub does in this industry, in this niche.
It's a really good point. We have over 1,000 money-making CEO partners on DubClub, and the average makes more than the annual average U.S. income.
Yeah, I believe
pretty
it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, you're in a different category than the average business, but the nice thing is that average is going up over time. Everyone wins more together. We want to elevate others, right? And you spend a lot of time, which I appreciate, and that's part of the value of being in the DubClub network, is that they'll get to tap into expertise from other partners like you who have been doing this for a while and know a lot. Obviously, they can listen to these kind of podcasts, but there's a lot of value for them in hopping on a call with you, getting in a DM with you, and it's fantastic because you're going to need to figure out how to get that 13 hours of screen time down. But it's fantastic, Zeke, because you're always willing to give that advice. And that's the ethos of DubClub. It's why we exist. We're here to help more people win more together. This isn't one, it's not a zero-sum game. Everyone wins with DubClub, which is why we do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm going to wrap up the pod because we're right at time. I'm gonna ask a couple of different questions sports-wise because I am kind of curious. I'm sure the audience is curious at the end of the podcast here. We're getting into, the finale of the college football playoff, first ever college football playoff. What are your thoughts on the format And what are your thoughts on what's taken place so far? Obviously, Oregon getting the snot beat out of them. Just kind of like interesting things going on. What's your take on the college football format?
I love the format. College football has never been more competitive and never been more interesting.
Feels like a professional sport.
Yeah, it's honestly really. I mean, I don't like certain things about the transfer portal, but it has made college football so.
Why not?
Competitive. I just don't like. I can't stand when people leave in the middle of the year. Like that dude quitting in the middle of the season.
It just doesn't feel loyal.
Yeah. But I can respect, like, hey, I've been here for a year. You just brought in another quarterback. I don't know if I can get the starting job here. Like, I'm going to go to UNLV or something and play. Yeah. But it just makes it so competitive. Like, there's so many good teams in college football this year. I don't like the auto seeds, like Boise State being the 3 seed and Arizona State being the 4 seed is insane. But I do like the auto bid into the playoffs. I just don't like the auto bye. It should have been the top 4 where it was like Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, and whoever else. Yeah. Texas was probably, or Penn State and Texas, not Ohio State, but Ohio State's going to win it all now.
They look unbeatable.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Smith's the best. He'd go first overall if the NFL draft was tomorrow. He'd be taken before Travis Hunter, before Shadur, before everyone. He's unbelievable.
So you're a pro on the college football playoff situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like it. I mean, it's definitely better than BCS. And the 4 team was just... I mean, you look at Ohio State wouldn't have been in the 4 team this year. Neither would Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean... And Ohio State's going to win it all. You got to wonder what teams... Like last year, I know I'm a Georgia fan. Last year, Georgia would have won if it was a 12 team. Yeah, we lost to Alabama, but we would have won last year. And like this year, Ohio State's going to win. You got to wonder what teams would have won that didn't make the top 4. Like those teams that were barely out. And I would have loved to see Florida State get obliterated last year.
For me, that's what's interesting about the format is that you've got teams that don't play each other during the regular season, and it gives them a chance. Like Notre Dame, Georgia, it gives you a chance to see it happen.
Yeah,
right. It's really interesting, and it's what competition is about. It's not. This isn't. There shouldn't be choices. I think I agree with you, and it's frustrating for me. I don't know if you knew this, but my junior year, when Christian McCaffrey was a sophomore, we went to the Rose Bowl. We were the number 3 seed, and we played Iowa, who was the number 4 seed, back when I was at Stanford, and we beat the living snot out of Iowa. Like, first play, I think Christian took one to the house. He did an out and in. Kevin Hogan dumped it off to him and went like 75 yards. And then, score. We beat him by like 35, 40 points or something like that. We didn't even get a chance to compete. And now, if that happened, like we would have moved to the next round. First of all, we would have had a bye the first round. Then we would have moved to the next round, and then we'd be in the semis, and then we'd have a chance to compete. It was Alabama and 2016. I think Alabama and Oregon. I don't know. That's a good question actually. I know Alabama was definitely in it. They would have crushed us. King Henry was there.
Clemson.
That was
Alabama.
The year King
Clemson.
Henry won the Heisman and over Christian.
Yeah, Alabama. Clemson.
Okay, so that would have been interesting.
I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, like think about it. Clemson plays Stanford now regularly every season. They're gonna have to play. It's like it's kind of frustrating because we were actually good at football back then. Now I don't know what's happened with Stanford's program, but that would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, y'all used to have like Toby Gerhart, and then McCaffrey. Y'all used to be spitting out running backs. Bryce Love,
Stephon Taylor, Tyler Gaffney. Yeah, you could go down the line, dude. These guys were like that 1,500 plus yard rushers every freaking season.
Yeah,
the rushing game was incredible, and now it's fallen off a cliff. But anyways, all right. So flip over to NFL. Who are you liking for a Super Bowl future at this point?
I mean, I don't want to say. I don't like the Chiefs this year. But then again, betting against Patrick Mahomes is kind of crazy. But this is by far the worst they've looked. I know people were low on him last year, but I wasn't. But It's got to be Lamar's year. Like, if it's not this year, it's never going to happen.
He looks like a machine.
Yeah, if it's not this year, it's never going to happen. Like, I'm being so serious.
4,000 passing yards, damn near 1,000 rush yards, only 5 interceptions, 40. It's like an unbelievable stat line.
Yeah, if the Bills, I saw a stat, the Bills have a top 3 scoring offense of all time, and they don't have a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard rusher. So, I don't like the Bills this year.
A machine.
Yeah, Josh Allen's insane, but I don't like the Bills because of that. Like, I don't like teams that don't have a guy. Like, they have Josh Allen, but I want them to have a guy. The Ravens
need to have somebody. They don't have Stephon Diggs. They don't have Gabe Davis. They've got Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and
And then
James
the
Cook
Chiefs,
could be the guy, but you shut him down.
Georgia legend. Georgia legend. But if it's not this year, I legitimately think he'll never win one.
I agree.